Driving her new and sophisticated car home, Alice was stopped by a police car during the afternoon patrol. Officer Andrea, upon seeing a young black woman in an expensive car, concluded that the vehicle had been stolen. Seeing that girl in the car represents problems for this neighborhood, Andrea commented to her rookie partner, Harry, linking her suspicion to recent property crimes. "I bet she didn't buy this car legally, or her parents are involved in shady dealings," Andrea insisted. Harry, less quick to judge, responded, "You can't assume she's a thief. Maybe her parents are rich." Andrea scoffed, "Really? A newcomer couldn't afford those wheels. She's a car thief, or her family is involved in illegal things. I'll prove it." With determination, Andrea sped off to confront Alice. Surprised by the stop, Alice wondered why she was being pulled over. "What's the problem, officer?" she asked, intrigued by Andrea's suspicious tone. "My parents gave this to me for my 18th birthday," Alice explained with a smile. "I highly doubt your parents could give you a car like this unless they're involved." "You better keep your mouth shut and watch if you have nothing more to say," Andrea retorted. Returning to Alice's car, her voice took on a sharp tone. Her determination was clear in her quest for evidence to confirm her suspicions. "Hey, you're wasting my time, girl. I told you to get out of the car. I need to search it," Andrea insisted, pulling Alice forcefully. Amid the growing tension, Alice felt a whirlwind of frustration and confusion. With tears streaming down her face, she watched Andrea meticulously search her car. In a few moments, Officer Andrea unearthed a small bag containing a white substance. "Hey, you insisted you didn't steal the car and that your parents aren't involved in anything shady. Care to explain what this is doing in your ride?" Andrea asked, holding the substance for Alice to see. "Oh no, I swear it's not mine. I don't use drugs, and my parents are clean. I don't understand how this ended up in my car. I'm being framed," Alice pleaded with tears streaming down her face. "You're under arrest for possession of a controlled substance," Andrea declared, handcuffing Alice and escorting her to the station. "See? I told you she's a problem, that's the evidence," Andrea told Harry, who was stunned. Despite Alice's pleas of innocence, Andrea took her to the station. Upon arrival, Alice couldn't contain her anguish and began to shout for her father. "Dad, help!" "Calm down, no shouting here," Andrea warned, but Alice persisted. At the station, her cries caught everyone's attention. Captain Marcos rushed out of his office upon hearing what sounded like his daughter's voice. "Alice, what's happening? What did you do, and why are you handcuffed?" Shock overcame Captain Marcos as he laid eyes on his beloved daughter in such a state. "Dad, I swear I'm innocent. I think I'm being framed," Alice pleaded. "This officer arrested me, accusing me of a crime I know nothing about," Alice explained her situation to her father. "Is this true, Officer Andrea?" Captain Marcos demanded. "Yes, sir, I didn't know she was your daughter, but I found illegal drugs in her car. I suspect she's involved in drug trafficking, which is a serious crime," Andrea replied. "You're mistaken. My daughter is responsible and would never do such a thing." "There must be a misunderstanding," Captain Marcos defended Alice. Despite his defense, Andrea boldly confronted Captain Marcos with accusations. "So, besides being a captain, what else do you do? Are you also running some illegal drug trafficking? If they found something like this in her car, how much will they find in your house?" Captain Marcos, upset but calm, responded, "How dare you say such things about your captain? I've never cared for you, sir. There's always been something suspicious about you. I'm going to investigate this matter." "If that's all, excuse me," Andrea said as she left. Irritated by Andrea's behavior, Captain Marcos resolved to uncover the truth behind the false accusations against his daughter. Back in his office, Captain Marcos reflected on how to ensure justice for his daughter. "Hey, Alice, I brought you something to eat, dear. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm working to get you out of here," Captain Marcos comforted his daughter. "Dad, I swear I'm innocent. I have no idea about this drug." Alice's words were choked by tears. "Dad, I trust you. I know you believe in me." There's someone pulling the strings behind all this, and I'm determined to uncover them, Captain Marcos declared resolutely. Alice, was there anyone else there when this happened? He asked gently as Alice sobbed quietly. Yes, Dad. I remember a police officer. He witnessed everything, but I don't know his name. I can try to describe him, Alice replied, struggling to remember. Acting on her description, Captain Marcos retrieved 3 photos of male officers he considered suitable. Showing the first one, Alice exclaimed, "It's him. He was there with her, Officer Harry. He's new. I'll talk to him, see what he knows. Stay strong for Mom and me, Alice. We believe in you, you'll be home soon," Captain Marcos reassured Alice before leaving, determined to uncover the truth. Returning to the office, he was surprised to see Officer Harry waiting for him. "I was about to call you. I have some questions," Captain Marcos said as he settled into his seat. Intrigued, he asked, "And what brings you here, sir?" "Although I'm new to the force, I have a keen sense of morality. Defending the truth is ingrained in me," Harry elaborated. "You might find this enlightening," he provided a clearer explanation. Harry took out his phone and showed a video to the captain. "What? Wow, it's unbelievable. This is so confusing. Officer Andrea needs to face the consequences for this," Marcos exclaimed. "I had no idea she was your daughter. I suggested giving her a break, but Officer Andrea was determined to blame her. When she showed up empty-handed, she got all restless. That's when I decided to start recording. I had a hunch she was up to something shady. When she thought no one was looking, she pulled a stash of drugs from her pocket, the same stuff she found in Alice's car. She planted it in Alice's car. Shortly after, she talks about how Alice is involved with drugs. I was shocked when she showed me, knowing full well she framed Alice. I'm sure Alice is clean." Captain Marcos smiled, proud of Harry's actions. "You really saved me here. I was about to call you because my daughter remembered you were with Andrea during all this. I hoped you could help clear her name. This video evidence proves you're an honest guy. I'm very proud of you. I'll need a copy of that video, and please, let's keep this between us." "Certainly, sir. I'll ensure this remains confidential," Harry said firmly, shaking Marcos's hand before leaving the office. Captain Marcos promptly released his daughter and contacted Internal Affairs for assistance in investigating Andrea. "How could you let her go?" Andrea burst into the captain's office without even knocking, her voice raised. "Is it because she's your daughter, even though you know she's guilty?" she shouted. "We'll determine guilt or innocence through a proper investigation. Leave my office immediately," Marcos ordered firmly. "Fine, I'm out of here, but remember there will be consequences for what you've done," Andrea retorted before storming out. As Captain Marcos and Internal Affairs investigated Andrea's case, they discovered she planned to frame her captain. A week later, Internal Affairs uncovered shocking details about Andrea. She wasn't just framing individuals, especially targeting black people, but was also deeply involved in drug-related crimes. As a police officer, she conspired with illicit groups in drug trafficking, even transporting drugs across state borders under the guise of her badge. The revelation stunned Captain Marcos. Andrea wasn't just framing people, she was a key player in drug-related crimes, casting doubt on her integrity as a law enforcer. The next day, inside the station, Captain Marcos greeted everyone warmly before delivering a powerful speech, praising officers who consistently uphold the truth, regardless of circumstances. "I have a message for all of you, pay close attention," Captain Marcos announced, activating a projector to display a recorded video. The footage captured by Officer Harry exposed Officer Andrea setting up Alice by planting illegal substances in her vehicle. The room fell into a stunned silence at Andrea's deceit. "Why would you do this, Andrea?" demanded an officer, but Andrea remained silent, her head bowed in shame. Moreover, it turns out she was also in cahoots with drug dealers, using her badge to evade suspicion. "This has been happening for years, and I'm relieved the truth has finally come to light. Furthermore, we managed to arrest one of the group's members who corroborated Andrea's involvement in transportation, Captain Marcos elaborated, revealing the extent of Andrea's corruption. In a somber atmosphere at the station, the disappointed police chief addressed the assembled officers to deliver the verdict on Officer Andrea's conduct. As many of you know, we've thoroughly investigated Officer Andrea's actions. Both the Internal Affairs Division and the Disciplinary Review Board meticulously reviewed the findings. Today, I must reveal the outcome of this exhaustive process. Officer Andrea, based on the evidence and the seriousness of your actions, you are now considered guilty. The charges against you include the unjust arrest of innocent civilians and participation in illicit activities while abusing your authority as a police officer. These acts not only betrayed the trust bestowed upon you as a law enforcer but also severely tarnished the reputation of our police department. Therefore, with regret and a commitment to maintaining the integrity of our force, I must announce your immediate dismissal from the position of police officer. We will not tolerate such betrayal and violation of the law among us. This decision is not easy, but it is vital to maintaining public confidence in our service. The actions of one person should not tarnish the hard work and dedication of the rest of us. We will continue to work to build community trust and uphold the values that define our profession. I encourage each of you to remain committed to the principles of justice, impartiality, and integrity that guide our work as responsible law enforcement officers. Thank you. This thorough announcement by the police chief aimed to clarify the charges against Officer Andrea and the reason for her dismissal, emphasizing their commitment to honesty and trust. After Andrea's dismissal, the station fell silent, and the officers were surprised. The officers exchanged looks, facing the gravity of the situation. Some struggled to comprehend how a fellow officer could betray the values they held dear. Addressing his colleagues as guardians of the law, Captain Marcos reiterated, "These are difficult times for all of us. Officer Andrea's actions have stained our reputation and eroded community trust in us. However, it is also an opportunity for us to demonstrate our unwavering commitment to integrity." Officer Harry, praised for his courage in speaking the truth, received accolades from both the department and the community as the news spread. Officer Andrea faced legal repercussions for her actions, ensuring accountability. This ordeal led to a collective commitment within the police force to promote transparency, uphold principles, and strengthen community relations. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. This other story on your screen now will also entertain you.